Thank you for showing up. I know it's a Friday at the end of the day. How's everyone doing?
Good. Thank you for having the session so we can clarify any questions we have.
Yes, of course. No problem. We're really excited to be able to offer this for the first time. So we're happy to be able to host this event.
Yes, get the word out, answer questions, make everybody feel ready to take care of that application, get it in.
So while we're letting everyone filter in for the next few minutes, if everyone could in the chat, just write your name and what school you're with and where you're located. And then, Chris, is there anything else that we talked about last time?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, yeah. So just your name, where you're located, and what school you're representing. And hello, Sonia. You've been in a couple info sessions. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, we got Sarah from Base Elementary. Nice to meet you. Carly Casto with Cactus Park Elementary in Las Vegas. Awesome, representing. I think Base Elementary is also in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, it's Bass from Las Vegas.
Bass.
Yep.
Sorry. And then we have Bernadette Lee in Venice, representing Mark Twain Middle School. Awesome.
Cool.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
And then we are also expecting Gabby, who's our outdoor school garden coordinator outdoor school garden coordinator manager. And so she'll be able to tell everyone about the GardenConnect program grant opportunity. Then we have Chris. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Chris Anderson. I am the Hydroponics Program Manager. So I'm the person who interfaces with teachers, between us and teachers with our hydroponics program. Former teacher, so.
Oh, it looks like Gabby's in the waiting room. Let's see. Oh, here we are. Welcome, Gabby. While she's getting her camera working, I'll introduce myself really quick. My name is Susanna Bradley, and I am the Marketing Manager and Hydroponics Partnerships Manager at Green Our Planet. So I help teachers when they're interested in a hydroponics program, figure out how they can get that into their schools. And usually the main barrier is finding funding. So for the first time, that won't be as much of a problem.
A lot easier now.
Yep. So Gabby, welcome.
Hi everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Gabriela Parato and I am the School Garden Program Manager for Greener Planet. And I'm one of the main connections with the coordinator department between Greener Planet and the teachers at every school that we work with. So it's nice to meet you all.
So nice to meet everyone. So I know that it's a Friday, it's the end of the day, so we'll try to cover everything as quickly as possible so we can get out of here and get your questions answered. But I have this presentation prepared and we can just get started. So these are all the things that I'll be covering today. So I'll go over Green Our Planet as a whole. Who are we? And actually, real quick, before I get started, if I can just get a show of hands, and if your camera's off, maybe just shout out, how many of you are completely familiar with Green Our Planet and you've already applied for a school garden or a hydroponics program?
You
I
know
can
it.
just get a show of hands.
Currently applying for the grant.
Kind of, sort of, right? In the process. Yeah.
Obviously, but currently.
Awesome. And then I saw Sarah raise her hand. Bernie, where'd you find us?
We were actually referred by our former gardening director. And so she saw the program and thought that could be a good fit. So And we've been trying to
Okay,
do the process with our teachers and see what, who's willing to do what. And so I'm curious to have some of our questions answered too and see what other folks are saying.
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. How about you, Carly and Bree?
Hi, I'm joining from my car in a parking lot between other meetings, but I heard about Green Our Planet back when I taught middle school math, and I wanted to do an after-school gardening program. It didn't work out at the time, but now I'm founding a new charter school here in Las Vegas, where we're planning to not only have a garden, but also a farm with chickens and goats and desert tortoises and things like that. So we're really excited to hear about this opportunity, and I'm pumped up to be circling back with Green Our Planet to see how we can partner on that.
That's amazing. That's great. Congratulations.
Amazing.
Thanks.
And Bree, how about you? Are you familiar with Green Our Planet and our programs?
I am not familiar with it, but similar like everyone else, our school is interested, and then a pre-K teacher that I work really closely with, I'm a kindergarten teacher, she gave me a little bit of information and told me to check it out. But we are also in process of writing the grant and everything like that. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Well, welcome. We're really excited too. Okay, so it sounds like there's a bit of a mixed bag on how familiar everyone is. So I'll just go into the full presentation, starting with who is Green Our Planet? And can everyone see my screen, the presentation screen okay?
It looks good from here.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go over Green Our Planet, who are we, what we're all about, the Hydroponics STEM program in its 5th edition, our outdoor GardenConnect STEM program, our Farmpreneur program, our accredited curricula, our hydroponics programs in Alaska, the teacher trainings we offer, our virtual academy, the 2 garden grant options, the grant process and how to apply, and then we'll get all of your questions answered in the end, and we'll have about 15 minutes for that. So starting with who is Green Our Planet, our mission is that we teach students to love and care for our planet through comprehensive school garden and hydroponics programs throughout the United States and beyond. We use gardens as a portal for understanding both life on Earth and our place in the universe. We were founded in 2013 in Las Vegas, and now we run one of the largest garden and hydroponics program in the United States, and we serve students from Alaska to Florida. Many of us are teachers or are former teachers, and so we are familiar with the experience of being a teacher and the stressors involved with that, some of the challenges, but also what makes it great. And so we're here to help you from that, coming from that perspective. Of all the 350 plus schools that are implementing our program, we've helped roughly 90% get funding. And so now we're really excited for the first time we're able to offer these grants to help fund 71 to 80% of these programs. So a little background on the problems we're addressing. These are some studies that we found that are general. They definitely don't apply to every single teacher in every single case, but in general, these are the trends going on in the US right now. So we found that 37% of 4th grade, 22% of 8th grade, and 18% of 12th grade students in the US were proficient in science. In the US, the percentage of children and adolescents affected by obesity has more than tripled since the 70s. And over 80% of the US population lives in an urban area, limiting their contact with nature. And why do these problems exist? We found that there's a lack of teacher training in STEM, nutrition, and conservation concepts. Only 80% of elementary school teachers feel very prepared to teach science. There's a lack of time teachers spend teaching STEM, nutrition, and conservation. Often there's a lack of resources to teach STEM, nutrition, and conservation. And this one I found particularly interesting. A study from the University of Michigan found that student interest in science dropped dramatically from 5th to 8th grade. And 2/3 of students lost interest in science entirely by the time they reached high school. So we're addressing these problems with our programming, with these garden programs. So our hydroponics STEM program and our outdoor garden programs are a tool to engage students and spark their curiosity. They are turnkey and easy to launch. They provide the resources that teachers need and teachers are lacking access to, including curriculum, video lessons, trainings, and expert support. They teach nutrition and foster healthy eating habits. They connect students to nature and promote environmental consciousness. And they work. 93% of teachers would highly recommend our program to their colleagues. And even better, the students love them. So this is a video of students at Bonner Elementary, which is located in Las Vegas. And this is just their reactions to our hydroponics program at their school.
Plants need soil, basically. And the hydroponic system.
Is the audio okay? Can I get a
Yes, it's good.
verbal? Okay, awesome.
It didn't use any soil, which was like really surprising to me. We're growing basil, onions. We grew some kale. We're growing avocado pits, onions, and garlic.
All you need is rock wool to be placed into the water, and that water has all the nutrients and all the food for the plant that it needs to grow.
You're able to learn about all the things that you do to take care of it and all the different tools you use, like the lights that are kind of like acting like the sun.
I think the best thing about hydroponic system is that it's kind of like science, and I think that's really cool. Science and plants mixed together, I think that's cool.
What surprised me was how fast it grew. The first time they were just little seeds, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later they were like huge.
They grow faster than any plants I've ever seen.
All they really needed was just water and sunlight, and they grew like. The first week that we did it, like we planted them, and like they were like this small, like they hadn't even grown yet.
I would see them once and then see them again, and they'd be like 10 times bigger than the first time.
2 weeks later, I come back, and it's like really like big, and it's like really surprising and mind-blowing.
There is one thing that surprised me, how it grows without soil.
I would love to try it at home because the smells and how quick the plants grow, so like we wouldn't have to go shopping as often.
I'd like to do that at home because I feel like my whole family would like doing it, and it'd be really fun for all of us.
My family loves fresh food, not just from going to the store and buying some. I would like it from my garden. I have a huge garden full of plants. I really wanted to try it at home, and my mom came to one of the meetings and she wants to try it at home too, and it just seems cool to do it at home, school, anything.
The best thing about learning hydroponics is to eat the food that you make.
Cute.
Yay, they're so cute. I want to point out too that one that was their first harvest. So they had just started this. They were probably 6 weeks in to their project and already knew a ton about it, and we're super excited about it. So that was really fun. Oh, and it's my turn. Okay, so your school hydroponics program. So this is what we're doing. This is actually version 5.0, so it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past, and we're super excited about it. First, we are still thinking of it as a K-5 hydroponics program. However, we do have many programs in middle and high schools, and this year we will be writing a middle school and high school curriculum that'll be ready for the next school year. And in our program, there are 20 hydroponic systems that are going to be in the program. So it would be one large commercial system and then 19 smaller ones. And the purpose here is to get it into as many classrooms as possible in a school. So we're super excited to be able to do that with this grant. The curriculum, you can see it's a K-5 still right now. It includes STEM, health and nutrition and conservation lessons. There are 14 lessons per grade level. With the package, we include full teacher trainings and workshops. So what we do is there are 3 workshops that are free with the program, and those are spaced out kind of in a grow cycle at the beginning of implementation. And then there are also other teacher trainings that are available to you throughout the year, including our 15-hour PDE training. It's 15 hours in Nevada, but it's 7.5 for others. But it's a great, thorough hydroponics training. Along with it, you get video tutorials and the STEM video lessons. Those are housed in our virtual academy, which is available online. And then we have a hydroponics manual and some other teaching materials as well. All the hydroponic startup supplies that you need are included, and it'll get you a little ways down the road. There will be a few costs to, in the future as you start to need to replace seeds and things like that, in the order of maybe $200 a year or so, kind of depending on how many systems you run. And what's our last one? Coordinator support for 1 year. So I'm available. We also have others on staff who are available to help along the way. We are not going to just drop this material into your school and walk away. We are here to help you get started and then support you as you move forward. We really want this program to be sustainable for you way into the future. So speaking of, so here are our units. So you can see the picture there on the left, that is the commercial system. That one is capable of growing about 216 plants at a time. We don't recommend that you plant them all the way out the first time, but it can grow a lot of plants in a short period of time. It is about 3.5 by 4.5 by about 4 feet tall. And it just requires 2 regular outlets, one for the lights and one for the pump. The reservoir sits underneath it, and it does not need to be hooked to plumbing, but it's great if it's near an access to water. And then the rest of the systems, the 19 units, are similar to the one that's there on the side with the strawberries in it. That is, those will grow 12 plants per unit. And they have a built-in timer, built-in lights. Everything is just super easy. You can set them up within about 30 minutes or less and have them ready to grow just like that. So we're super excited. And again, this is 20 classrooms, which is for some schools, the whole school. So pretty exciting to be able to offer that. So over 400 plants can be grown in about 6 weeks with these systems.
Mm-hmm. And just like the kid said in the video, the grow cycle is so quick when it comes to hydroponics. So 400 plants, that happens in, would you say, a month
About
and a
6
half,
weeks.
Chris?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you'll have a full-blown just farmer's market operation going on at your school.
Or a huge salad bar, whichever. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So now Gabby's going to talk about the Outdoor GardenConnect program.
Thank you. Yes. So the GardenConnect program provides you with a Greener Planet coordinator, who is the main contact between your school and Greener Planet. And this person will meet with your team every month to provide resources, the information about teacher trainings or any events that we're planning throughout the year, and give you all the support that you need throughout the year with your program and make sure that it's a successful program throughout the year. It also includes access to the pre-K through 5th STEMworks accredited curriculum. It includes STEM health and nutrition and conservation lessons. And that is also connected with our virtual academy, which is a library of videos that we've created based on the lessons from the curriculum that are available for you. And we also have garden tutorials for those teachers that need a little bit of learning about gardening and are a little afraid maybe of getting out there in the garden. We have a lot of videos that are available there for you as well. The school garden manual is a document where we share all the information that you would need throughout the year. We include like grants information, fundraising ideas, information about your garden program, things that you can do in the garden to expand or add, for example, an outdoor classroom if you want to add that, composting information, different programs that are available. So all that information is in that manual, and it's something that is right there for you whenever you need to look for any support, as well as your coordinator, of course. And then we offer the teacher trainings throughout the year that your coordinator will let you know when there are openings. And we're also planning on having some nice shorter workshops this year that you will be able to attend and get ready and continue growing your program throughout the year.
Gabby. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that are included with those two umbrella programs that Gabby and Chris just talked about. So one of them is the financial literacy program. And in this program, it's geared towards fifth graders, but can be used for any grade level, whether you're elementary, middle school, or high school. And through this program, students learn real life skills and become financially fit citizens. We use our standards-aligned financial literacy curriculum and volunteer bankers to teach students to market and sell their garden produce. And the program culminates in a school-organized farmers market, or if you're in Las Vegas, the Greener Planet's giant student farmers market. So essentially, students learn how to turn their gardens into a business at the end of the growth cycle. And Chris is going to tell you a little bit more about the hydroponics curriculum.
Yeah, so our curriculum, again, it's K through 5 right now, but there will be middle school and high school for next year. It was created by a cadre of Clark County School District teachers along with our hydroponics experts several years ago. It is aligned to next generation science standards, and it is accredited by STEMworks. And yeah, so the middle and high school curriculum is also in development. Do we have a slide about the cultural framework?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I didn't know whether I need to say that or not. So we also have this really great addition to our curriculum. We just are in the process of piloting right now. It's the culturally responsive hydroponics curriculum framework. And it was designed to, we looked into our curriculum and we realized that it was very STEM-y and didn't talk a lot about culture or, social emotional learning, those kinds of things. And so we worked with a cadre of educators from New Mexico to put together this great framework. And what it does is it enables all students to learn hydroponics through their own culture, heritage, and local geographic conditions. And it is designed to encourage teachers to create cross-curricular lessons through the lens of their students' diverse cultural backgrounds. So it's not a set of lesson plans, but it is a set of questions and ideas and resources for teachers to go in and design experiences and lessons for their students based on where they're teaching and who their students are.
And similarly to the hydroponics curriculum, we have a PK through 5 curriculum for the outdoor garden program too. And it was created by a cadre of teachers and aligned to the same standards, the next generation science standards, accredited by STEMworks. And just like the hydroponics curriculum, we have a middle school and high school curricula in development. That being said, we do have a handful of high school and middle schools who are already with our program, and they adapt our elementary school curriculum to meet the needs of their students and the learning levels of their students. I know we have a couple middle schools in the group here today. So exciting. This is an exciting case study, and Chris will tell you about it.
Yeah, so this is a fun story to tell. So we have several hydroponics programs in a school district up north of the Arctic Circle in Alaska. And it started in Veneti, Alaska, back in 2019. And the teacher there was very interested he wanted to bring some really good solid STEM teaching to his school. The school has about 40 kids in it, K through 12, so it's very small. And he wanted to really have some, solid STEM education. But another aspect of it is that living as far north of the Arctic Circle as they are, they have a very short growing season. There's just a little bit of time in there where you can maybe do something in the summertime. And the rest of the time it's very, very cold. So all of the fresh food that is going into the village is flown in by bush plane. And often by the time it gets there, it is freezer burned and just not very good quality at all, and it is very expensive. So they have like $9 heads of lettuce and things like that. And so this school, they were actually able to, they put together our program and then also added a couple of more units to their farm. And now they can provide fresh greens and vegetables for their entire village. So it's a great way. This kind of aspect of it. It's great STEM teaching. But it's also a really great way to serve community and just create all kinds of opportunities for students.
Love that story.
Yeah.
So now
great.
moving on to our teacher training. This is the one, so we have those 3 workshops that are included in the hydroponics program. And then we have those teacher trainings that are both geared towards the outdoor program and the hydroponics program if teachers want to dive in deeper. And they've proven to be very effective. So 97% of attendees would recommend the training to a fellow teacher. 92% of attendees felt more confident teaching in the outdoor school garden. And 89% of attendees felt more confident teaching with hydroponics after taking the trainings. So the virtual academy, Chris and Gabby touched on a little bit when going through the program. With each one of the programs, you have access to our library of online STEM videos and garden and hydroponics tutorials. And each of the STEM video lessons are aligned with the curricula. So when you're teaching the lesson, there's a video in the library that aligns with it. And teachers use this in a number of different ways. Some teachers will send their students home so they can watch it as homework. Some will just play it in class. And some teachers, if they need to brush up on a topic, they'll even watch the videos beforehand so they can know what information to teach and what's and a fun and engaging way to do that. And we're really excited about the virtual academy success this year. We've reached over 4 million student views, and after submitting it to some film festivals, the virtual academy won 3 different awards, including one from a bronze winner at the Anthem Awards. And excitingly, the winners in our category were the National Geographic Society and the World Economic Forum, and then the Solutions Project. So to sum it all up, the 2 grant program options that we have right now are the Hydroponics STEM Program and the GardenConnect STEM Program. And with the grant, there's a major discount. We're so excited to be able to offer this. So it's usually $10,000, and you get, with this grant, you can get it for $2,000. And similarly, with the GardenConnect STEM program, it's ordinarily $3,500, and with the grant, you can get it for only $1,000. So real quick, running through how to apply, and then we can get to the question section. Eligibility. This grant is open to public, private, and charter schools located in the US. The process, applications will be due on June 10th. We'll be reviewing the applications June 10th through July 6th, and we'll make our announcements on July 8th. To submit your applications, there are 2 separate Google Forms that you may have seen already in some of our email communications or on social media, but they'll also be in the follow-up email after this presentation. And then if you just go to greenourplanet.org, links to those 2 applications are right on our homepage at the very top. So needed to apply. For both applications, you'll need a signed letter of support from your administration. So that's basically a letter of support, or a letter committing support for your garden project, signed by the principal of the applying school where the garden will live, and presented on your school's letterhead. And then specifically for the GardenConnect application, we'll need photos of your garden space and dimensions of your garden space. And we ask that you please upload 3 digital photos of your garden and or garden space. If you include photos of children, of the children that you work with, please only upload photos of children for whom you have a photo release form signed by their parent or guardian. And so please note, since this application is provided through a Google form, you won't be able to save your progress once you've started. So it'd be helpful to have all your answers prepared prior to filling out the form. We estimate it'll only take 40 to 60 minutes to complete. And we welcome and encourage you all to apply for both programs. And if you wish to do so, you'll need to fill out both applications separately. So that was a lot of information, but now we'll turn it over to you all for questions. Go ahead, Sarah.
Is the GardenConnect one just for the outdoor garden?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so then I'm just looking for the hydroponics one because we already have our outdoor garden. So I would just do the one.
For your outdoor garden, do you have a curriculum and like what
Yes.
is it
Sorry,
just
you're
your
from
outdoor
Bass,
garden?
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's from Bass.
Oh,
I'm
we've
like
got it
trying to,
all.
That's right. Of
I'm
course.
trying to see if your face is, I'm like, is it her or not? Yes.
Oh no, and I'm sick too. I look, I'm a mess right now. But yeah, no, we've got it all. We've got Farmer Danielle. We've done the farmers markets. We're in full swing with our garden, our outdoor garden. And now I'm starting a STEM position this year, and I did the Hydro 101 with Chris, and so now I'm hoping to get that all up and running for this school year.
Perfect. Yay.
Awesome. So yes, the hydroponics grant will be the one for you.
Okay.
So for the outdoor, so I'm Bernadette and I'm representing Mark Twain Middle School. So for the outdoor program, can that be integrated with an existing garden? So we have an existing garden. And when you ask me about curriculum, I'm a parent rep. So I'm on the Friends of Mark Twain. From what I understand, it's sort of really hodgepodgey. I mean, it's called Seeds to Plate. So they started this program. We have a part-time gardening coordinator that we fund. But when I talk to my daughter, who's in 6th grade, it just sounds like it's really like very dependent on the teachers. Like, you know, someone may talk about aqueducts, or someone may talk about, you know, if their teacher's really into it, you know, they have a more set curriculum. And I think with the middle schoolers, especially at the school that we have, it's really important to get them out there. I think this is how you get their interest with the hands-on science. But I was wondering if the program could be integrated, right, with our existing garden program. And then also you're developing the program right now for next school year. So meaning 2022-23. So is there, I'm sorry?
So the curriculum is being developed for 23-24.
Oh, 23-24. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be writing it this year.
Okay, so is there a way, like with your partner schools that are high school and middle school, that we could get a copy of like that curriculum to see how they've integrated certain topics? You know, I mean, I love the hydroponics program. I think it would be great. Like, we'd like to integrate it. I think that the concern from the teachers that we've sort of vetted, it's hard to get everyone's response. I know they're so overworked, is like what their commitment is, right? And how they can integrate. I think it as easy as we can make it for them and not to overwhelm them. I think I can get their support and long-term support on that. And I didn't realize it was like 19 that you could spread out to all the classrooms, because obviously our garden classroom that we could probably do something with the one unit, but it sounds like you can really, you know, bring kind of this greenery and this kind of learning directly in the classroom, which I really like. But it's just, you know, I think the teachers are they are overwhelmed, right, with especially middle school. So I'm sure all teachers everywhere. So I'm just wondering, yeah, what kind of, I appreciate that you have all the support, but I have to also internally sell, I think, to get everybody. It sounds like the bigger the group, the more sustainable it is as a program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all really, really good points and good questions, I think. So I think number one, GardenConnect is designed, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, but GardenConnect is designed to work with schools who already do have some type of garden going on. And really, it's about helping a team organize so that they can be successful in their garden. So get more people involved and have have higher yield, that kind of thing. As far as curriculum is concerned, we could possibly connect you with other schools. I think that would be, yeah, because we have middles and highs who have outdoor gardens, and they might have some really great suggestions. So I'll stop talking and let,
Yeah. I second what Chris was saying. The purpose of GardenConnect is similar to what it's exactly what you're describing. Is we have a garden, but we're not really implementing it correctly. And so we need extra support to make sure it's more fluid and more impactful for the students. And so I think GardenConnect, if you have an outdoor garden space, would be really great for that. For the hydroponics, when it comes to the middle school curriculum, one thing that comes to mind that we have in development right now is an online community for teachers. So if you're in a hydroponics cohort, you'll be put into an online community through this new platform that we're developing. And then that would be a great way to exchange ideas on how you can modify the curriculum and the different creative ways to make it work for each individual school. But we have connected some teachers to other teachers with our program in the past, so they can be like serve as a reference. So I'm sure that, I mean, Chris would be the more of an expert on that front, but I think it wouldn't hurt to ask, is what I would say.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, yeah, we can, I mean, it would be a little bit of a heavy, excuse me, it's a little bit of a heavier lift to start a hydroponics program, like you're saying, because you're not quite, you know, getting buy-in and that sort of thing. It's a little bit of a heavier lift. They would definitely be supported, and it would be a great opportunity. And we can always connect people to one another. There isn't anybody, like, everybody does it differently. So like, you know, when in middle and high school, they use it different ways. I think the thing to think about with it, especially with hydroponics, is if you have growing living things in classrooms, there's just a multitude of ways that you can use that. And so, you know, it's all about, you know, every science curricula everywhere there's something about growing plants, right? And so, you know, that can be used no matter what curriculum you're using. So it's a little bit easier. Hydroponics is nice because it's a little bit easier. It's not tied to time of year. You know, you can do it anytime if you have, you know, depending on where you're living. So there are some advantages there, but it is, if the teachers are feeling overwhelmed and they already have an outdoor garden, you know, that's another thing to think about. So, but there's always apply for both and see what happens. You know, there's that too.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a couple questions, and I'm having a little bit of connectivity issues, so I apologize if I missed part of this previously, but I know you went over the eligibility requirements, and then Chris, you kind of mentioned that it's, you know, the grant is designed for folks who already have this in the works. So I'm curious, what other considerations are there when you're determining who's eligible for the grant? And how does it work? Is it like a finite number of awardees, or is it just anyone who's eligible? That's my first question.
Do you want to take that, Susanna?
Sure, yeah. So when it comes to the number of grants that we have available, we have 200 available for hydroponics and then 50 available for GardenConnect. And then when it comes to eligibility, we don't have any specific eligibility requirements for type of school or, you know, student demographics right now. If we do get an overwhelming amount of applications, then we will probably tend towards Title I school, like schools with Title I status, or the mid-range schools, because through our experience, we've found that schools who are not quite, whose student body is not quite, like, not
Like
quite
they're just on the edge of
like,
Title I. Yeah.
Right, like they're not quite low enough income to qualify as Title I, but they're not in the bigger category where they have like enough funding to go around. They actually have the hardest times getting funding, and so they might be prioritized over Title I schools in some cases. But I think what it comes down to is how excited you are, how excited your school is, evidence that you have a garden team and that there's going to be program sustainability. I think those two things are the main things.
Yeah, I would agree
Gotcha,
with that.
thank you.
Yeah, no,
And
And
then,
there's a rubric that we're going to be using for scoring these. So, and it takes into account a bunch of a bunch of those factors. So
I would also add admin support for sure is very, very important.
huge.
Yes.
definitely. Okay, and then my next question, we are a brand new charter opening this fall. So I know the applications are due on the 10th, and you want a picture of our garden. And right now it's just rocks. But by the time, you know, we get to the school year, it'll look very different. So I am wondering about kind of how the timing will work out with all that. Like at what point would, if we're eligible for the grant and we move forward, at what point would the hydroponics program be able to start? At what point would the garden be able to be installed? What's kind of that timeline look like?
So hydroponics, we will be ready to ship materials in August. So it would be a fairly early start. We'll start the teacher training. The first workshops are in September. And so the idea there would be that you would have enough time to get the materials into your school, get some things kind of set up and distributed and so forth, get your team together, and then people can start getting trained. And then you would be harvesting your first go round sometime in October. So it goes, because hydroponics goes so quick. So that would be that one. And then I'll let somebody else talk about GardenConnect.
Abby, do you want to take that one?
So I believe for the GardenConnect, one of the first of all, it would be like knowing what your plan is with your garden and how big it is. I think that's what we're asking for, a picture of the area where you are, if you don't have a garden yet already built, where you're planning to have your garden built. And I believe we're having some of our farmers that could be like consulting with you to kind of guide you a little bit on what you could do, what you would need, depending on the area, because we have schools that want to have their garden in the courtyard, or they have another area outside, in another area of the school, depending on how big it is and what your plans are, I would say. That's why we're asking for a picture of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So
And my understanding is that we'd like to, sorry, Chris,
no, go ahead.
That we'd like, it doesn't matter if it's just a pile of rocks right now, but as long as it's up and running and ready to be a learning space by the time school starts in August, whenever your first day of school is, then that's okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
What is the maintenance and support needed for the hydroponics system? You mentioned that initially it's a pretty straightforward install.
Mm-hmm. So there you kind of have two things going. So one is this one right here that's above me. That's the 2-layer unit. That one takes not real long to set up. There's two tutorial videos that show you how to set it up, and it goes really pretty quickly. And then the other smaller ones, those can set up within a half hour, just in individual classrooms. They're super easy to do. As far as maintenance is concerned, so teachers are trained on how to make nutrient solution and get plants going and that sort of thing. And it's just kind of an ongoing thing. It's one of those things that you can teach, and we encourage teaching students how to do. So teach them how to take care of their nutrient solution, how to test, and keep the plants going, that sort of thing. The grow cycle, a typical grow cycle for greens and herbs, is about 6 weeks from germination to harvest. You can stretch it to 8 weeks, depending on how big your plants are going to get. And then a lot of times you can go ahead and just plant again and just run another 6 to 8 weeks, and then it's time for shutdown and cleaning. Because you will get, there's going to be some biofilm, there's going to be some buildup of different kinds of minerals and that kind of thing. You might get some algae in the system. So there are going to be some things that need to get cleaned up. And so there are cleaning procedures for those. Obviously, the small units, super easy to clean. You can do it like in a sink and it's fine. The bigger one takes a little bit more doing. We have a good procedure for it, and we'll coach everybody up on how to do that. But it's the kind of thing that, would take an afternoon, or, it takes an hour or two with, a few people to get it all nice and clean and ready to go again. One of the great things about hydroponics is that you do not have to run it constantly. You can decide when you want to be gardening. So if it's time for break, it's time for Thanksgiving or Christmas break, it's like, oh my gosh, this is chaos. Shut it down, harvest it, clean it out, set it over in the corner. Don't think about it again until you're ready to start it up again. So that's one of the advantages of hydroponics.
Awesome.
Sonia, I see you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
Sorry, I didn't know I had unmuted, but yes, I do.
Good.
I have a couple of them. For the cultural diversity one that you're creating, that was actually one of the things we're writing about. Is it going to be like online with the grade level materials?
Yep, it is just basically, it just comes in the same folder as the curriculum. So it's just right there ready for you to use.
Okay. And then, so you're not doing the deep water anymore. You're doing those like, or what are they? The aeroponics or
like aero gardens. Yeah. So what,
yeah,
what these are, the ones that we're doing is actually, they are actually deep water culture. They're still deep water culture. They're just commercially produced.
Okay.
So yeah.
What do they sell those for if you were to buy them individually?
They're about $80 each.
$8 each.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the commercial grow is a 2 and not 4 tier.
Correct. It is two layers. Yeah.
Okay. And then for grant writing, I know you had at I think it was the 5th annual conference, you had a great slideshow with grant writing and how to do it, what best works. And I had taken pictures, but my phone crashed and died. So I have none of that left. So I didn't know if the slideshow is still available with all those ideas or anything. I mean, it might be a little bit late right now because looking in the archives, but I just found that information that you had in there was really good. And so because like for me, I didn't know with the grant writing, because I haven't written one before, if asterisks going down or if you want like a narrative essay, which one is a preference?
Do you think we have a preference? I don't really. I mean, I think bullet points are fine. I mean, just explaining whatever is the best way for you to explain what you want to do, I think is, is fine. Yeah.
Okay. And then let me see, we got that one.
You agree with that, Susanna?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think some of the narrative questions are, like, you can probably tell based on the wording of the question if it makes more sense to do a bulleted list or an asterisk list, or if it makes more sense to describe your student demographics or yeah, I think it probably depends on the question, but it's also, we're not going to dock you if you do a bulleted list instead of a narrative. Yeah.
Get a little wordy, so I try to like do bullet lists. So otherwise, it's like, it's like the wild garden of words.
Exactly. I'll bet you that video does exist though.
Yeah, because it was made by you guys and was shown at the very end with the guy from Oregon, which that is still my goal, to get it from hydroponics into the cafeteria directly. And then the letter of support from the principal needs to have that they're committed to doing it and where it's going to be. Anything else on the letterhead and signed by our principal? But
yeah, basically just a letter showing commitment from your principal and the school administration. And then if it's printed on the school letterhead, that just shows the officialness of the letter. Yeah, no problem. And so we are a little bit over time, but I want to make sure that if Bree, you had any questions before we head off or sign off, that you had that opportunity. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming and for your interest in this program. I'm just going to share my screen one more time to show some resources that if you think of any other questions. First of all, we have a school garden fact page. And so you can get a bunch of the questions that we've been getting in there. And this presentation will be linked in the follow-up email that you'll get in about an hour. And so you'll be able to click this link and find it easily there. And then if you still can't have it or still don't find your answer there, you can email applications@greenourplanet.org and then look out for updates on our social media or via email. And that's it for us today. But again, thank you so much for coming on your Friday and for all your really thoughtful questions. We really appreciate it.
We look forward to reading those applications, y'all.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll have more questions.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.